It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's not hard to say how I feel. It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's kinda easy now 'cause it's real. Hey. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Turn me up.
Na 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 na. For
Hi everybody, hey, how you doing? My microphone is tied in a knot. There we go. Yeah, you can tell what kind of day it's been for me. Whoa. So, who said they're fired because they didn't do their elephant? It cracks me up. True confessions, I did mine about 20 minutes ago. Because, well, I'll show you Tamara's. And well, I'll show you mine before I show you Tamara's, because otherwise I'll be just like totally, oh my gosh. Anyway, hi everybody, how are you guys? You'll see when you see it. It's good to have you here. Linda's here, yay, and Gail. And I saw Julia too, and Tamara totally did not do my elephant, she says. I think it would take me much longer than a day to draw an elephant. Okay, so Julia, I did true confession, I looked up and how to draw an elephant easy for kids. And then that's what I did to follow mine along. And then I opened the email from Tamara and went, okay, well, probably she spent more than 5 minutes on it. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna love it. Anyway, I'm good. Homework. Sent it anyway. Yes, you did a great job. Just check it in to see how everybody is. It looks like everybody's doing good today. Larry's here, and yay, Larry and Angela are here. Angie. Guilty and don't even know why. Okay, so last night we had, I'll preface it because I left Gail's picture that she sent in to show again, thinking that Tamara would like this, about this cool picture of an elephant. And then we got talking about me going to Botswana and the elephants I'm going to see. And so then I decided it would be a fun thing for everybody to draw an elephant. Especially since Linda said she didn't draw. Oh, yeah, and she did, Linda does collages and other things. She sent some pictures of those, so I've got those to show. So we'll do that. Anyway, I did. In my defense, I was finishing my clock. Yes, no defense needed. Any kind of art is always welcome. I just love everybody being creative. Yes, Angel's here. Yay. Doing the drawing. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys. So first off, let's go start this here at some place before we get into the elephants that's reasonable. So Linda sent in these, which we had talked about some of the artwork that she does, and she does these cool collages with feathers and then builds these things. And so she sent me, I told her to send pictures of them so we could see. Is this a card or that you did? I just love it with the feathers and the window, the whole multimedia. You know, when I try to put stuff together like that, it looks like it still looks like I dug through a junk pile and just put a junk pile on the page. And that is gorgeous. And then your rooster and your wreath up there. Did you do the rooster too? Or did you do the wreath? Or both? And is that a wreath made of corks? I think it's a wreath made of corks. Oh, by the way, hang on. I have to turn that off. I still have Christina's live going on my other computer. Hang on. I'll get distracted. She's doing some fun stuff. Stop. Can't get, there we go. Got it to quit. But this picture. Oh my gosh. Nice. Those are very cool. That's a lot of wine. Yeah. You painted the rooster. Neat. I love it. I love him. Okay, so next we have, okay, I'll show you here. Mine is an overhead camera shot. So let me pull my overhead camera shot up here because it's not, I didn't take a picture of my elephants. I just did what I drew. Okay, so here, let me put this here. Oops, whoa, where am I? Now you can't see me. Oh, maybe turn it that way. No, turn it that way. There, no, fiddle. Okay, so I did these elephants, kid drawings. I just looked them up online and on how to draw elephants, and so I was just playing with different ones. Little cartoon one, and let me get this so you can see. That. There we go. Boom. There. Yes. And then I'll show you closer up. So they were just kind of fun things. I goofed up. I was using a pen type of thing, playing with them and that. But I was just sketching. So I did that while Bob was making dinner. And then the other one I did as he was almost done making dinner. I got home at about 4:45 from a wrap-up meeting for the art walk. And so I didn't have a lot of time. And then we're watching the news, which was fun. So then I found another one on how to draw, and it was kind of this guy, okay? But this was the first one I did, and so I did it in pen, and it still had all the extra lines because you're supposed to like, fiddly-dee, like this line here was supposed to be erased out, and some other things were supposed to be done. This line was supposed to be erased out, stuff like that. So that was my first one. And then the little cartoon one, this one. So then I decided to do it a little more officially, and I did that. So I got that one. And literally that is basically a paint by number type of aspect to it. So that's how it was. And then I used paint pens. So I still did the ink and did paint pens and added a watering hole and that kind of stuff. So that's my elephant, you guys. Okay? Oh, there's Helen. Oh, Helen. Let's see if I can find that. I'll have to bring that back up. I might have it. It is. Oh, Helen's here, you guys. I have to bring this up right now. Helen, Gail showed this last night. She brought this in for you. I wanted to show it again. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that gorgeous? That she sent it to me to just a picture just for you. I thought that was really, really nice of her hibiscus. Isn't they pretty? Jean Simmons of Elephants, well done. Okay, well, if you think that's the Jean Simmons of Elephants, well done. You just wait. Okay, so then Gail had this very cool picture last night that she thought Tamara would really like. And if you'll notice, the elephant's ear is shaped like a person's face. Okay? Right? And she said, we got talking, and then it was maybe you could draw that. Are you guys ready? Now, this is why I showed my Gene Simmons one beforehand and all that first, because this is after, I mean, literally, I opened Tamara's email after I did mine. Thank God I opened it after. Because look at that. Look at that. Bring it in just a little bit. Look at that. So amazing. I love that. So if we go back to Gail's, where you see the face all in the ear, and then go back to Tamara's, what she's done. And she says she's not finished. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. Tamara says she's not finished. But you see why I'm really glad I did mine first before I saw this. But Tamara, that is just, it's amazing. It's absolutely gorgeous. So beautiful. I just love the way that you captured that picture. So cool. And even you caught the youngness of the elephant. It's really, really wonderful. And that eye. Wow. So good. So good. I need some water here. Yeah, people faces. No, yeah, I'm not. So I'll stick to probably the going online and finding the websites that say do it easy. And but when I do that, I have a lot of fun and it turns out okay. And, you know, it's fun to be able to, aspirations that I could ever do anything as well as Tamara. Maybe if I practiced really a long time, but I think personally, I'd rather just look at hers and then just play with mine because hers are too beautiful. Yeah. All right. That's so cool. Anyway, that's what we had on that. So yeah, quite the deal of the art. That's what we were doing. Yes, it is so believable. I just did that yesterday afternoon. Elephants on parade. Yes, I agree. Yep, exactly. I just like to sit and look at her work, and then I'll get my little sketchbook out and I'll do my, my little play. I did. My little elephants that I do for play. Where'd they go? There. Yep. I can play. There's all different kinds. There's step by step. It's like paint by number, but step by step. Because, this is my book that we did with the Frogies. Remember the Frogies that Layla did with us? And then today I was doing that, and I did Goofy Birds. Oh, yeah. Some more Draw Bird a Day. I did some more Goofy Birds today. That was this morning when I woke up. This was my morning meditation, to draw stupid whimsical birds with my paint pens. And then later on they were scribble. Well, these are with with like Arteza pens, and these are actually acrylic pens. Fun. Anyway, I actually, you know, he looks pretty skeptical, but it'll work. Why do I have two of me? That's odd. Funny. Okay, so on we go to the story time. And here, so today I have, let me see if I can find this screen share. Yay. Okay. So the book I chose, since we were talking about elephants and wild animals and all that kind of stuff, I chose a book called The Watcher. And if you saw the opening and you saw the chimpanzees, you might have a hint as to who the book is about. But it's written by a lady named Jeanettter Winter. Now, not to be confused with Jeanette with two N's and Winters with an S. That Jeanettter Winters is a romance novel author, and not the Jeanette Winter with one N and no S that has done these books. She is a celebrated picture book author, creator, whose acclaimed works include Diego, Oil, and The Secret Project, all written by Jonah Winter, and her own sisters, Venus and Serena Williams, The World is Not a Rectangle, a portrait of architect Zaha Hadid, which is another book, Nanook the Ice Bear, Malala, a brave girl from Pakistan, Iqbal, a brave boy from Pakistan, and Two Stories of Bravery, Henry Scissors, and Biblioburo, a true story from Colombia, Nazreen's Secret School, a true story from Afghanistan, and The Librarian of Basra, a true story of Iraq. She's a woman who's written some amazing books of non-picture book, non-fictions of people in situations or in things who have made a significant difference in their own country or in their line of work. She illustrates most of her own work. I read this article about her. Jeanettter Winter loved to draw and tell stories with her pictures when she was a child. She knew early in life that she wanted to be an illustrator. But creating children's books seemed too far-fetched, she says. When she was young, children's authors did not visit schools and therefore seemed mysterious and alien to a youngster growing up in Chicago. They were almost like characters themselves. I didn't have an unusual enough name. I didn't have an exotic place on the side of a mountain, she says. And the connection between her classes in painting, drawing, and printmaking and professional illustration eluded her. Having no mentor to shepherd her through the world of children's publishing, Winter embarked on a program of self-instruction. But at that time, illustration was frowned upon in the fine arts circles, so she kept her decision to herself. She practiced skills such as layout, pacing, and maintaining the consistency of characters between pages by illustrating familiar nursery rhymes. Initially, Writer's illustration style was more realistic, and she incorporated an outlining technique that helped define the objects in her paintings. In her early work, she favored folktale retellings and drawings, stories written by other authors. Her first attempt to an original story in words and pictures was Follow the Drinking Gourd. Oh my gosh. Follow the Drinking Gourd is a book that I had in the library. I believe it was a Reading Rainbow book. It's an amazing book. I was excited about the subject, and it was something I wanted to write, but soon learned that the transition from idea to manuscript is a difficult one. She had anguished time trying to figure out how to tell her story. Her realistic artistic style forced her to consider hiring models so she could illustrate her characters in various poses. Anyway, she went on, her story ideas come from events that inspire her. I have to see the pictures right away. She says, when I do, I get very excited. When a friend sent Winter an internet video of a hippopotamus who thought its mother was a tortoise, the visual possibilities, I know this story, seemed ready-made for Mama. I didn't hear any words. She just says, I just saw it in pictures from baby's point of view, no narration, it just happening. I remember that book when it came out. That was right after the tsunami in Southeast Asia, down in Thailand. She did the book My Name is Georgia, about Georgia O'Keeffe, and attempts to demystify how a child who liked to draw became a professional artist. It's a book I would have liked to have had as a child. And she goes on, she's written so many wonderful books. I've pulled a bunch into my library, and we're gonna do a series of her work, because I'm very excited to show you guys this, because yeah, the things that she writes are incredible. So here we have, let me get this book up and running. There. I moved all my, there we go. The Watcher. That's the book. And let me do this. The Watcher. Jane Goodall's life with the chimps. Come on. Come on. Oh, come on. Why is my page not changing? Hang on. What happened here? Somehow. Okay, just let me fix this. Pull this back up. And there we go. Okay. Back to live mode. The Watcher. Jane Goodall's Life with the Chimps by Jeanettter Winter. The quotes in this book are from Jane Goodall's autobiographies, Africa in My Blood and My Life with the Chimpanzees. For Roger. Jane, Jane, where are you? Jane, can you hear me? Everyone had been searching for hours and hours, looking for little Valerie Jane Goodall. Then, from the henhouse, Jane came running to her mother, shouting, I know how an egg comes out. At 5 years old, Jane was already a watcher. Jane watched all the animals in her world, big and small, earthworms, insects, birds, cats, dogs, horses. Jane quietly watched an English robin at her window for days and weeks. She saw him come closer, closer, then into her room to eat some crumbs off her bed. When spring came, the robin even built a nest. Perched high in her favorite beech tree, Jane read about Dr. Dolittle talking to the animals and Tarzan living with the apes in Africa. She wanted to go to Africa too and talk to the animals and live with the apes. When Jane's school days were over, she worked and saved to buy a ticket to Kenya. She hid her earnings under the parlor rug for safekeeping. Crossing the ocean, Jane stayed on deck and watched the waves even when the cold wind blew. She saw all the different blues and greens of the sea and fish that glowed through the dark water. As Jane stepped into the dry land, She closed her eyes in joy. Jane looked for work with the animals. A famous scientist, Louis Leakey, was looking for someone to watch and study chimpanzees to help us understand the animals most like us. Would Jane be interested? Yes, she would. Jane traveled to the place in Tanzania where the chimps lived, Gombe. I wanted to learn things that no one else knew, uncover secrets, she wrote. She set up camp far from any human dwelling. That first night, Jane lay awake listening to the new sounds, the croak of a frog, the hum of crickets, the laugh of a hyena, the hoot of an owl, and looking up at the stars. At dawn, Jane walked into the forest. Up high, she found a peak to watch from. Every day, she climbed to the peak to look for chimps. But though she could hear their pant-hoot calls to one another, she didn't see them. Jane walked down into the forest, hoping a chimp would appear. Still, the cautious chimps stayed hidden. Secretly, they watched Jane. When will I see a chimp? She wondered. Then Jane fell ill with malaria. Lying in her tent, burning with fever, she almost lost hope. But when the fever left her body, she tried again to get close to the chimps. More weeks and months passed, till one day, the chimps let Jane see them. She stayed in the background, never hid, acted uninterested, and quietly watched. Now Jane watched every day, all day, even huddled in the rain. She saw the chimps accept the rain, not look for shelter, as we do. She kept notes about it all. You have to be patient if you want to learn about animals, she wrote. Some nights, Jane even slept on the peak to be near the trees where the chimps were sleeping. She woke at dawn and saw them slowly rise from their nests, sit for a spell, then go off to find food. Jane named the chimps. To her, each one was different, just like us. A gray-bearded chimp was the first to approach Jane. She named him David Graybeard. David Graybeard he has taken bananas from my hand so gently, no snatching, she wrote. Can you imagine how exciting that must have been for her? Can you just imagine that? To have been for months and months waiting, and then to have one of the chimps take a banana from her hand. Oh. David Graybeard let Jane come close. She watched him shape a stick into a tool to dig for termites. Before this, nobody knew that wild animals made tools. She watched David Graybeard eat meat. Before this, everyone thought chimps ate only plants. And because David Graybeard trusted Jane, now the other chimps let Jane come close too. Chimps all around me. What a day! Chimps near, chimps far, old men, young men, ladies, children, babies, teenagers, the lot, she wrote. Jane watched the chimps. When they were happy, She saw them hold hands and hug and kiss and laugh just like us. Jane watched the chimps when they were angry or scared and their hair stood on end. She saw them swagger and throw tantrums and kept out of their way. Jane watched the chimps at the Kakombe waterfall, leaping and swinging in awe and wonder at the tumbling water. At night, after supper of beans and tomatoes and onions, Jane listened to Mozart and Bach as she wrote up her notes from the day. Years of notes were piled high everywhere. Jane needed help, and so assistants came to watch and write. One day, Jane sadly left Gombe. All across Africa, forests were being cut down, and the chimps were losing their home. Poachers were shooting grown chimps and kidnapping their babies to sell to laboratories, to the circus, and as pets. Jane's beloved chimpanzees were in danger of becoming extinct. They needed Jane to speak for them. Jane hated to leave her friends, but she knew she must. She traveled to big cities and small towns the world over, month after month, year after year, asking for help to save the chimps and the forests. Jane returned to the forests of Gombe whenever she could. She climbed up to the peak, calling hello to the streams and hills and trees, David Greybeard at her side. Jane watched and listened again to the pant-hoot calls of her friends. And when she went back to civilization to speak out for the chimps, Jane carried with her the peace of the forest. The forest in Gombe where she talked to the animals like Dr. Dolittle and walked unafraid like Tarzan and watched and wrote and opened a window for us to the world of the chimpanzees. Look at him sleeping in it. I love that. A note about this story. Jane Goodall grew up in England, but she dreamed of living in Africa. I wanted to watch wild animals, not animals in cages, she said. To simplify her story, I focused solely on Jane's own accomplishments. I omitted mention of her married life, her son, and her mother's unwavering support. Jane was 26 years old in 1960 when she arrived at the Gombe Stream Chimpanzee Reserve in western Tanzania to study the chimps. Because she was young, Jane's mother accompanied her to Gombe, but she returned to England soon after, knowing that her daughter could take care of herself, and so began Jane's life's works. Jane referred to herself as the white ape that the chimps came to accept. Because of her patience, she was able to study the life cycle of the chimps, knowing some of them from birth to death. Her observations and writings uncovered many secrets of the animal world. In 1986, Jane attended a conference organized around her groundbreaking book, The Chimpanzees of Gombe: Patterns of Behavior. At the conference, she learned of the deforestation and destruction of the chimps' habitat all across Africa. And so she left her work and began speaking out to help save the chimps. She still travels most of the year, working to save animals and the land they live in. Jane, the white ape, wrote while in Africa, "This is where I belong. This is what I came into this world to do. And the animal kingdom is the richer for it. I wish that when I was a little girl, I could have read about someone like Jane Goodall, a brave woman who wasn't afraid to do something that had never been done before. So now I've made this book for that little girl who still speaks to me. It says, if you're interested in more learning about Jane Goodall, she's written a number of books about her life, including My Life with the Chimpanzees and The Chimpanzees I Love, Saving Their World and Ours. I know that Art Wolf, who I'm going to, the photographer who's taking me to Africa, who's done well over 100 books and has done the wild elephant books and has done all kinds of books, he said one of the highlights of his life is having met Jane Goodall and been at a conference with her where they were both speaking together and representing world animals and conservation, and that is pretty, he told me it was pretty spectacular. And so Jeanettter Winter, she wrote Wangari's Trees of Peace, which is a beautiful book, Mama, a Boston Globe honor book, and The Librarian of Basra, which I don't know. Anyway, that is one of those books about somebody. I don't know about you. So when I was growing up, we were not allowed to watch TV on school nights, which just wasn't what we didn't do that. And but on weekends we would watch like musicals or Wide World of Sports and different kind of things. We could watch things, but there was always, the exception was if there was a National Geographic special on. And I remember when there was a National Geographic special early on about Jane Goodall and her work with the chimps. And it was probably done in the late 60s and or early 70s, but I can still remember watching that and thinking, oh my gosh. Yeah, those type of things. Let's see. Okay, Jane Goodall, yeah. I want to see all of Julia's work. Okay, picture in the center of the mixed media piece of my iPad is so finicky. Julia has some too? Okay, thank you. Let me find them. Let me find them. Okay, where's my email? Hang on. Julia. Oops, if you can spell Gretchen. Julia Lee. Ah, haha. Yay, okay, here we go. Let me get Julia's, I'm just gonna do this preview mode here so you guys don't see me mushing around in the back here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go choop and then I can get this one. Hey. Okay, there's one. Cool. And then there's one. Okay, you guys, I'm pulling up Julia's and so we can see her art too. Yay. Okay, there's two of them so far. Let me get this and go back to live mode. There we go. Okay, and find where I forgot to pull her up. You're down, there you are. Oops, wrong one. That's the old one. This one. There they are. These are Julia's. And there we go. Pull this down here. Okay, two of Julia's ports. Let's see what she says in the emails on these. What she says. Those two. The other one. That one. Okay, she got that one. Then there's this one. Okay, I'm pulling them in. First off, let me get, oh, fiddle. Hide that one. And then that one I did. That one I did. That one I did. Oh, that one we did. Okay. So those, here, let me, this one, and where's the other one? There we go. There you go. There we can see Julia's. Those are cool. I love the lacing on this one. And this one, okay, the one in the middle that you have there is like, this morning I was down on the beach and it was low tide and there were jellyfish everywhere. And that's what the jellyfish look like. Exactly. And this looks like a rose just exploding in the middle of that. That's so cool. They are too that great. Bring them out when she finds them. Thanks for. Yep. No. There we go. It's something fab. Of course it's something fab. Little bird hugging Julia. So did I find them all, Julia? Jane Goodall has always been one of my absolute heroes. And do you like Dr. Doolittle? Yeah, I always wanted to push me, pull you. Anybody else wanted to push me, pull you? I did. I always wanted to push me, pull you. Rex Harrison, yes. The original Dr. Doolittle with Rex Harrison was the one, yes. And then they did it, another one, the one they did with what's his face was terrible, the recent one. My mother started working, we started watching. Yes. Nope, they came through, Julia, I think they came through fine. Yeah, Jane Goodall has a current project. She still is very active. And I know Art was just doing something on it. They were doing some conservation work together and stuff. So are these just the, are these the, there are 4 more, but they probably didn't send. Okay. Let me see. That one's that one, and that one's that one. There were 2 of the same of that, of the middle one, and then 2 on the same on that one. You know what I got is I got like repeats of your emails. Oh, here we go. Hang on. Da 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 da. Here's another one. There's another one. So we're just going to layer them. Is that the same as that one? That's the same as that one. And that's the same as that one. That's the same. Yeah, some of them repeated. Okay, where am I? On my emails. Julia, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It sent 6 emails to me. let's see. What's this one? That's that one. Those are, and it like repeated the pictures. But my email does that to me all the time. It repeats things. It's like sends them, double sends them. It's hilarious. That's okay. So we got that too. I like that. Look at that one. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So back to up here. Anyway, you guys, yeah, Jane, I thought you would like that. And this Jeanettter Winter, she's done such amazing nonfiction picture books of people, and what she does to make them, her realistic style come into play like that is just really, really awesome. I love the way she kind of captured the essence of who Jane Goodall is and how she still presents herself. The woman's absolutely amazing. Let's see if I can find out how old Jane Goodall is currently. The Jane Goodall, about Jane. So she's 88. She's born in 1960. No, in 1960 she was 26. So she was born April 3rd, 1934, in Hampstead, London, England. In Hampstead in London. Yes. She has a worldwide. There was a message she did for World Wildlife Day. In 2022, there was a YouTube that she did. That's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Well, anyway, that's Jane Goodall, and I'm excited to share more of Jeanettter Winter books with you guys too. But for now, I think I'm gonna pull this in and great planet and twinkling stars with wonderful use of light. Yeah. I had you didn't have a hard time, Julie. I just had a hard time finding it. It was funny because there were the 6 emails that you sent. They were like, the first one had one image on it, but it repeated it twice. The next one had another one, it repeated it twice. And then the third one had the first 2 images repeated twice each. And then it wasn't until I got to the 4th one, then it had all of them except the newer ones were way down in it. It's funny. It's funny. Oh, well, we got them. That's good. Anyway, you guys, keep drawing, keep having fun. Draw something silly, draw something realistic or pretend. Get your creativity out there and just enjoy it. Whatever inspires you. I don't know if I could draw a chimp, though. Elephants, I got inspired. Bears, yes. Chimps, I would be really interested to see them. Kind of would love to see the mountain gorillas up close, but that's a whole different area, and that's a very tough photo shoot to go on. I've seen videos of Art's last trip up to the mountain gorillas, and that's a very, very tough hike in and difficult photo shoot to do. Well, yeah, so I don't know if I'm up to that quite yet. Have to get a little more in fit. All right, you guys, it's been great. Thank you so much for being here, for joining me for Story and Art, for sharing your art. Don't forget, if you want to send something in and have it in the show, please put live art in your subject line. It helps me find it. And I'll probably share art again. Let's see, today is Monday, probably later on in the week on Friday or Saturday. We'll see how it goes. See what I get. I'll collect some. Until then, hey, have a glorious week. Have a glorious night, and I'll see you tomorrow. But until then, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. and you'll find it in your mirror looking right back at you. Later.
Hear the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feel the right, we won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards, I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous. You blow my mind, looking like a model, better than the usual. Yeah, you don't even try, not average or typical. I put you on a pedestal. There's not just stars on
Exactly,
the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards, I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too.
It's the G's. The Green Rumor, the Gail, the Gretchen, the Gloria. Night, Helen, and Gail, and Larry, and Angie, and Julia, and Tamara.
We could be famous. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous.
Apple for the teacher. Bye, guys.